This reading is for someone who previously decided to take a leap of faith. This person could have been in a state of lack, of not having enough, and still decided to take a journey, trip, travel, or this leap with hope, with belief in mind. Despite their circumstances or limitations, even wounds that they carry of worrying about being abandoned or not chosen, whatever depravity or scarcity they were in, or their circumstances were saying they were in, they still decided to venture, to take a journey, to take a trip, to step into the hope, the belief, the flame. For some, this was about a connection even. Despite all odds, against all odds. I'm hearing that song, I think it's Bob Seger, Against the Wind. Currently, this person shows up in a state of rest, repose. This could be a form of nesting or relaxation. It could be deep subconscious healing type of feelings, patterns going on. And this person could elevate one above all others. So this could be some kind of a connection where there's idealism or even a lot of just one-on-one. Like this is their person and no one else. It seems this person has done a lot of luxurious things out of lack or despite it. And this way of going about things, even though it can be magical on one angle, is also quite taxing. And I'm specifically hearing the word taxing. This person is quite interesting, quite unique. They could have a lot of contradictions or contradictory beliefs, belief systems. Like they could show up as walking on the edge of survival while simultaneously almost living in this magical, fantastical fantasy reality where things actually do happen too. It's not just a fantasy realm. It's like living on one frequency most of the time and then just suddenly going super high up to this other frequency and like making the craziest thing happen and then going back to just living at that very baseline frequency. This person can and has achieved miraculous things, magical moments, manifestation moments, but the whole of their life may not feel like, the whole as in WHOLE, may not feel like it's sustaining that energy. Instead, it feels like spikes, like it just like juts up all of a sudden. I do feel some anxiety or stress around this person. They could be quite brilliant. They could be an overthinker, a lot of mental activity going on. I also feel they've got a fantastical draw when it comes to love. Maybe they have a lot of hefty expectations in that area or dreams. One thing to mention, especially if this is you and you're resonating with this energy, is time, rest, recuperation, this energy of repose. Like this is a luxury. It is luxury, almost a highest level luxury or priority luxury for you, for who we're connecting with. And it's worth saying or mentioning because if you are connecting with having this kind of time and yet feeling like you're somehow not manifesting the rest of your life in a certain way or maintaining or whatever in some form that you want to, maybe you're frustrated with yourself and feeling like it only happens sometimes, or I don't know how to sustain that more often, whatever. It just can help you to recognize that your time is invaluable to you, like especially when it comes to being able to have this rest. This is very luxurious to you. And if you start realizing that, if you start kind of recognizing that all of the downtime, the rest time, the quiet time, the peace, being able to sleep full 8 hours or more, whatever it is for you, however that looks, it's going to be different for everyone. But the more you start to see that is like the highest form of luxury for you, an existence like this in general, it will help you to realize that you have actually been creating and manifesting exactly your luxury life, let's say. And it brings us back to like, it's always how you look at it. It's the realization that allows you to see, to access, to realize. Sometimes the state of lack is one that is actually just not seeing, it's not realizing. Or that some states of lack that you may have experienced have actually taught you that your habits are connected to lack, or what you're doing, there's a cloud of shame around it. And you're associating those actions or behaviors or whatever to that cloud of shame or to lack. It's like not being able to see anything but a vulture. and all of the stereotypes around vultures. But if you were to like destigmatize, if that's the right term, to take away all of those associations and shames and this equals that, if I'm doing this, it means that's lack. If you were able to take all of that away and just look at the bird itself and see the usefulness in that all on its own, or to see your actions as just normal, natural flow, necessary actions without the shame and all of that, it wouldn't actually be a lack thing, if that makes sense. Of course, that's not on you. So often it feels like we are receiving information or creating information to receive in our reality that's telling us like we are doing something and we need to adjust something, and the loop goes on and on. So being able to see or acknowledge that is not another way of like, hey, you should do this different, or you should deprogram that, or whatever. It's just an acknowledgement, because the acknowledgement itself, the seeing itself, is the empowerment. The understanding for many, especially if you connect to our channel, often is the empowerment as well. I also keep getting this term, do it anyways. And I feel like this is heavily connected to the past, even though it can be present too, but it's like in life, no matter what, you just did stuff anyways. Brilliant stuff that maybe you shouldn't have been able to do. It's like somebody can't hardly buy groceries for the week, but they win an all paid for expenses, like vacation trip and a shopping spree or something, it's like contrasting. There's something you should know. It's that your creativeness, your inventiveness, it is miraculous. It is important. It is special. And it's been born out of your very interesting life and path and combination of ingredients that make you you. The kind of new way of doing things, of looking at things, of being, of learning how to utilize and reshape things. Sometimes partly because of lack. It causes you to enter other dimensions almost, and to see alternate uses and angles and possibilities on things, because you've had to in some ways, or it's felt like you've had to, but eventually it almost supersedes itself or kind of expands its own being, as if you start to realize there's always a possibility, or always a way, or always another angle, or always something. Like, it's a very creative, inventive energy. And this can be with physical things like items, it can show up there. It can show up in your physical realities and connections, relationships, spaces, items. It can also show up in your intelligence, your mind, the way you're viewing things, your perspectives, your emotional states, and all of it. It's all connected. If you were going too fast, you wouldn't see all there is to see. I keep hearing, slow down, you crazy child. Da-na-na-na-na. And this is not limited to age. It's also not telling you that you have to wait. It's more that there's nothing really to get to. The slowing, the rhythm, the rest, the whatever you perceive as the now. Are you in harmony with it, or are you warring it? Are you thinking it's against you and you have to change it? Because that can also be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, a loop. Like, I have to see this different. I have to change it. Whereas it's like, I am here for a reason. This reality is working with me. All that I need is here. I allow myself to see that. I allow myself to be with that. I allow myself to realize the reason in it. I allow myself to trust myself and this reality, this path, even to play with the idea of trusting it. That if it has me here in this way, if I have myself here in this way, then that's because here is my treasure. Here is the treasure I've been seeking. And now I let myself see it. I hear like you're trying to escape your own luxury. So if that's resonating with you, we're going to go into a full extended reading. The link is in our bio, or if you're on YouTube, it's below. Please make sure the image and title matches the extended reading that you're selecting. And we'll go more in depth in a more targeted way to your energy and see what other messages are here for you. Much love always, and thank you for receiving.